All right, this is the Friday, January 21st edition of the Carolina weather video here. Just going to let this play for a second, and I think you'll understand why as we go through the video. Here we go. All right, the Gap Band, you dropped a bomb on me. And boy, that's what the modeling has done with our system for next week. There's been really two trends of note in the modeling here as we've gone through the past couple of cycles for our potential winter weather producing system next week. One, it's much slower. Two, it's much more powerful here, and I'll get into that as we go through the course of today's video. Let's start off with a look at the watch warning and advisory product here from across the lower 48. The cold front that cleared through our area last night. On the northern end of that is an area of low pressure that's brought another snow event to the New England states. That continues to pull up and away, and most of that precip you see there through the New England states here this morning is snow. Here comes the cold air, and another big blast of Arctic air is plunging southeastward here, and you're looking at temperatures colder than 30 degrees below zero here in northern Minnesota, and that is brutally cold air that's dropping southeast once again. Here's the upper air chart for today. Big trough in the eastern part of the country, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time in today's video looking at the longer range, but I'll just tell you the general idea here is for ridging out west, troughing in the east, running into early February. That generally is going to mean colder than average temperatures around here. Today, kind of a brisk day, a lot of sunshine. Piedmont highs, though, struggling to hit low 40s. I think the Triad probably staying into 30s all day, maybe clipping low 40s around Charlotte. Tonight and tomorrow night, we're going to be in the upper teens to lower 20s for much of the Piedmont. Now, there's that little low pressure that's just going to try to pop close enough to the coast to spread a little precip to the immediate coastal parts of the Carolinas. That'd be later Saturday into Saturday night. But for most of the region, it's going to be a dry and quiet, albeit pretty cold, weekend. There's Sunday, probably Piedmont highs in the 40s on Sunday. All right, then we get to next week, and I'm going to step you through the GFS first, then I'll show you some other modeling. Here we go. This is Monday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is not really changed. The area of high pressure, favorable cold air damming position here east of the mountains. We go out to Tuesday, though, and notice now the system is much slower. And this is GFS kind of indicating a scenario where there might be some areas of light snows or light precip in general that tries to move in later Monday night into Tuesday morning. But now most of the modeling is an agreement that the core of this system is going to come through anywhere from late Tuesday night into Wednesday. This is actually 1 a.m. Wednesday morning, and the GFS pops a area of low pressure in the northeast Gulf that by the wee hours of Wednesday morning is sitting near Savannah. We go 6 hours later, and this thing is bombing out here as it moves close to the South Carolina coast. And 6 hours later, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon Wednesday. It's sitting over the coastal plain of North Carolina. Very, very heavy precip producer. It's sitting now over the Virginia Tidewater region as a strong, strong area of low pressure by Wednesday evening. And then finally, this lifts up to just off the New England coast on the GFS by Thursday morning. Now again, you look at the thermal structure here. Initially, that would probably be in North Carolina, a little bit of light snow. But then this is a deal where you would be looking at GFS verbatim, probably the mountains stay all snow with this. But for much of the area, I-85 to the mountains, you'd be probably looking at a snow to rain, back to snow scenario. All right, here's the Canadian. It is even slower. This is Tuesday morning. There's Tuesday evening, and notice how far inland this low comes, right over top of the interior Carolinas by Wednesday morning, and this thing also bombs out as it moves on up toward the southern New England states. Hang with me here. A lot of modeling, but I'll get to the general idea here in just a moment. Here's the European. 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, 7 o'clock Tuesday evening. Okay, the low is along the coast. Interior parts of the interior parts of, we'll say eastern North Carolina as this low is really deepening. And again, this is the 540 thickness line there. And you go out 6 hours later. A lot of heavy snow on the back end of this here for much of interior North Carolina. And this too blasts parts of the New England states with a big winter storm. One final operational model. This is the UK Met, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening. It's way far inland with the low over the mountains. I think a track right now, actually pretty favorable to a GFS European blend is the way to go, and that would be the idea of a low tracking from northeastern parts of the Gulf of Mexico to pretty close to, if not just inland of the coast, somewhere in that area. And all the modeling is really making this an intense system. Let me show you a couple other features here. This is the European ensemble mean. It is obviously farther east than the operational run. You would expect that when you're looking at a mean of the ensembles. But that's an idea that, you know, it may stay a little closer to the coast. The Canadian ensemble also further east. But again, with a system like this that's rapidly deepening, you're not going to get the ensemble mean picking up on the potential for this being a rapidly deepening system when you're looking at the mean of a bunch of the ensemble members. So, all right, what do you take from this? Well, all right, the potential for a big winter storm for parts of the region is still very much on the table, but this could be one of those scenarios where the upstate of South Carolina, mountains, foothills, parts of the Piedmont of North Carolina see a snow to rain to snow scenario if this thing really does bomb out like some of the models are indicating. So a lot to be ironed out. We've gone from kind of a weakish looking system and then maybe another system later on next week to kind of one big consolidated intense system. And of course, you know the drill. It's going to be a matter of where exactly that low tracks, how much cold air damming, and there will be some, gets in here ahead of the system, and then exactly how heavy the precipitation is. That'll determine a lot of times the precipitation types in a system like this. So a lot on the table. We're not going to get a good handle on the details yet for probably another couple days, but the potential for a big ticket winter storm somewhere across the region, and it could just stay in the mountains, but maybe even down at the lower elevations. The potential is on the table, and we'll keep watching that, of course. Thank you for checking in with today's edition of the video. Have a great weekend, and God bless.